Okay guys, let's take a look at what we actually need here to do the benzo reduction. You're going to need a few things. Your trusty benzo pills. This just happens to be clonazepam, my evil pill. You're going to need a notebook to keep track of your reductions. You're going to need homogenized milk. Got to be homogenized milk. This happens to be 3.25% homo milk, available here in Canada. I'm sure there's an equivalent available in the US. You're going to need some sort of a vessel to put your milk in. I'm using two 7.5 ounce baby jars. I'm also using, for dispensing my liquid, I do it 4 times a day. These are 4 ounce, 116 milliliter. You're going to need a 60 milliliter BD syringe. I also use a 10 milliliter BD syringe. A great tip for using these things here is that you want to place packing tape on the outside because the markers don't last very long and they wear off very quickly. Okay, so let's look at the process of how we actually go about dissolving the benzo and prepping it for daily use. Okay, so let's take a look at how we actually prep our benzo solution. In my personal case, what I use is 120 milliliters of whole milk and dissolve 1 whole pill, 0.5 milligrams of clonazepam within that 120 milliliters of milk, and then refer to my Excel spreadsheet and find out what I need to do or how much I need to withdraw from that total solution to make my dose or doses for the day. So it's pretty simple. Basically what I do is I use a vessel, just a glass of any sort, fill it up with milk. I find that I can get a full 2 days worth of dose from a glass like that. There's been a lot of talk about how long these doses last when you prep them. I usually prepare about 2 a day, so I have enough dose for 2 days moving forward. I've never experimented with anything more than that, but I haven't found that the quality of the benzo solution degrades over 48 hours or anything like that. It seems to be the same potency. So again, as I said, I use 120 milliliters of milk. We've got our 60 marker there, so basically just pull off the 60 mils. People seem to worry about bubbles and stuff like that. I really find it hasn't affected me too much, those micro doses. There's 60. $120. There we go. I'm not going to prep the second one. Take the 0.5 milligrams clonazepam, pop it in, seal it up nice and tight, and I don't know if you can see that at the bottom there, it's kind of hard to see, but the pill is in the milk solution and it will dissolve quite quickly. I've had some situations where I've forgotten to prep a dose and I've had to make it really quickly in the morning. And I find that this stuff dissolves in about half an hour, 45 minutes if you give it a really good shake. It's probably best to do this a day in advance. Give it a couple of shakes during the day, making sure that the clonazepam is well diluted within the milk solution. Okay, so let's move on to how we're going to actually use this dose, or this full dose of clonazepam, and make our withdrawal. Okay, so it's the next day, and I've let this clonazepam dissolve for 24 hours. So what we have is a solution here of 0.5 milligrams of clonazepam and 120 milliliters of whole milk. So first thing you need to do is refer to your Excel spreadsheet, and again I'll put a link to this underneath the video. I know you guys probably can't see this, but basically what this tells me is the current date, my milliliters of milk, which remains at 120 throughout the whole process, my original dose of clonazepam, which was 0.5 milligrams, and basically it tells me how much I have to throw away, and how much I'm going to consume, and tells me my actual dose of Klonopin intake. When I started this process off, I was at 1 milligram, and I'm down now to 0.3313 milligrams. Woohoo. Okay, all right, so that aside, this is what I do. This is my routine in the morning. Doesn't take a lot of time. And as a side note, I do a lot of traveling for work, and I find that this really works well. These little 4-ounce Tupperware jars are available at Walmart. They're really cheap. You can see they're kind of stained orange here. I think that's basically because of the dyes or whatever they put in the clonazepam. Anyway, all I do, lay the 4 out. Now I dose 4 times a day. Basically first thing in the morning, lunchtime, around 8 o'clock at night, maybe a little bit earlier, sometimes 6 depending on how I'm feeling, and then 1 before bed. So what I do, this is the full 120 milliliters of milk right here. So I got to make my reduction. So look in my Excel spreadsheet, I know that I have to remove 40.5 milliliters out of this solution. So how do you do that? Okay, well, you can do it a couple ways. You can use a large syringe like this, but obviously it's not going to be very accurate for small increments. So I need to remove 40, and then the only way I'm going to know that I'm removing the 0.5 correctly is by using a smaller syringe like this. This is a 10 milliliter BD syringe. So basically what I do is, after I know this is dissolved quite well, shaken up, making sure all the bubbles are out of it, what I do is I just plunger it up, plunger it down a couple times. That seems to help to get rid of the bubbles. And I just reduce slowly till I'm down to 0.5. Discard that. Okay. Now I have to remove the additional 40 milliliters. Pull it nice and slow. Bring this down to 40. There we go. Discard that. Okay, so here I have my total solution to be consumed for 1 day. What I do to make things easier for myself is I top this up with more milk. Don't have to do any accurate measuring here because you've got your total solution. Put the cap on nice and tight. Give it a little bit of a shake. And then, just by eyeballing, divide it into roughly 4 equal doses. There we go. Okay, so then you want to seal these babies up. Okay, so I only have 3 caps here because I'm going to consume this right now. Cheers. Down the hatch. Lovely stuff. Okay, so these go in the fridge or in a lunch pack with some ice in it, just to keep them cool and from going off. And then again, I just consume one at lunch, have one between 6 and 8 at night, and then have one before I go to bed. So that's basically it. The other thing you might want to do, or you should definitely do, I forgot to mention this, is with your leftover jar after you've made your pours, is you can see there's some residue in there. What I do is I just rinse this out with water and drink the water within it, making sure that you get all the little bits and pieces of milk and extra clonazepam in there. It's important to be as accurate as you can. Some people get really finicky about bubbles and making sure that measurements are 100% exact. Personally, I don't worry about that. I find that those micro differences don't make any difference in my withdrawal or my taper. I think that those micro changes are cumulative, and as long as you follow your schedule and listen to your body, you should be good to go. So, that being said, guys, I hope this has helped you out a little bit. Just wanted to show you how I do things. I know there's a lot of other methods out there, but this is the method that works for me. And best of luck to you. Take care. Bye-bye.